Hi everyone, welcome to another episode on Diamo La Cucina. Today I'm making a Italian version of a black forest cake. It's going to be chocolate cake with a simple syrup of amaretto and maraschino cherry juice. It's going to have a cannoli cream in the middle, and we're going to decorate it with white buttercream, Italian buttercream, and chocolate on the outside, and it'll have the cherry preserves in the middle in between the cannoli cream. So it'll be like a layer of cannoli cream, a layer of the cherries, a layer of the cannoli cream, a layer of the cherries. See how big we could get it. So I'm not gonna call out the measurements. I'm gonna put that in the bottom. If you're with the YouTube, you just hit underneath the describe is a little arrow button that points down. If you press that, the ingredients will be listed in that. I'm trying to cut back on video length and timing. So I already sifted my flour here, so it's nice and fluffy, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and sift all the ingredients here. I have my cocoa, my baking soda, baking powder, salt, all that's in here. I'm gonna sift this in here as well. So I figured I'd save a little time doing this portion of it, getting it ready. And I have the sugar. I'm making a double batch, so that's why I'm not calling out the stuff. So I'm just getting all my dry ingredients in here. And it's good to always sift your dry ingredients, even your sugar, because sometimes you might have a little clump in there. You want to make sure everything is done. And it also, if you do it with your cocoa powder, it sifts it through a lot quicker. You can see that right there, okay? So this is gonna be a little rough because I'm doing it in the stand mixer, and I'm hoping that I'm not putting in an overload. Trying to think here. So let me go ahead and put the dry ingredients into the bowl and see where I'm at with this. I could have sifted it again. I think I'll be okay. All right. So everything's in here. We're gonna go ahead and put this on the KitchenAid stand mixer. You guys know it's my favorite. My paddle attachment here. I'm gonna give it a little whirl just to get it mixed even more. Just on low while we talk. So this recipe also calls for buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, I don't buy buttermilk all the time, so I don't have it handy as I do everything else. So I improvised and used milk and a little bit of vinegar to make my buttermilk, sorry. My buttermilk, which should be fine. And then I have hot water. And I have 1 part of espresso, okay? Really strong espresso, our vanilla, and our oil. The next thing's gonna go in, as well as our eggs. So I wanna get a small bowl, just to sort of give that a little bit of a mix. I don't want the eggs to cook, so I'm gonna go ahead and break these open and put them in. And I'm gonna sort of temper the eggs. And these are room temperature eggs. Remember that, I always wanna use room temperature. These are farm fresh eggs that I get from my kumari, my godson's mom. She has nice chickens, and I get the eggs from them. Okay. I always break the eggs first. I want to make sure that there's no eggshells in it. Okay, I'm good. And I'm going to whisk eggs and the liquids together. Let me get my whisk. I was using it earlier, so I have to find out where it went. Here it is. Give me 1 second. So Sometimes you'll see me wearing the same clothes from one video to another because I'm doing a couple videos in one day, trying to catch up. So again, I'm just gonna whisk these eggs, and I'm gonna put the hot water and the espresso, very strong espresso. So I did 3 parts of water, 1 part espresso. To me, it just enhances the chocolate flavor. So like I said, just go slowly, sort of temper it in. Okay. I'm gonna mix in my vanilla. Use about 4-5 teaspoons. One, 2, 3, and 4. I'm also going to put 2 tablespoons of amaretto. But I'm going to make the simple syrup too that's going to have most of the flavor of this in it. The simple syrup, we're going to use amaretto, the cherry juice from the, I don't have a cherry liqueur, so I'll use the cherry juice from the Maraschino Cherries. Okay, I'm going to mix in my buttermilk here, which is also room temperature. And then we're going to pour this right in, as well as the oil. And I'm making sort of a mess here. You guys know I don't like to have a messy area, so I'm very picky about that. So just give me 1 second while I just move some things around. There we go. Alright, the dry ingredients are mixed enough, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the liquid in the oil. And this is going to be a trick here because I'm just going to lower this and pour some of it in. And this batter is not going to be real thick, just so you know. It's going to be a little on the loose side. Which reminds me, I want to go ahead and put my... Ooh! Well, that was a disaster, wasn't it? Not like a little fun on TV. Just give me a moment here. I spilled a little bit of liquid, so I'd say about 1/2 cup, so I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of hot water. These things happen, so at least you got to see it. You're not the only one that things happen to. So let me just get a little more hot water and a little more espresso to put in there. I really made a mess here. Okay. All right, let me put this on low while I get the water. So I got more of the hot water and espresso, as you've seen. I'm just going to pour that back in there. Okay. And that's basically it for the cake part. We do still have to make the cannoli cream. which I have here, fresh Ricotta I made last night. See, it's nice and dry. And now we're making the cannoli cream in just a little bit after we get rid of the cake being in the oven. Then we'll come back and do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the oven. And I'm going to spray the pans. I put a slice of parchment paper down. And I'm going to go ahead and do the whole sides, and this will adhere better once you put that in, okay? I showed you guys last time how to cut these if you don't have rounds that are already pre-made. I fold it into like a cone shape, measure the back of the pan from the middle to the edge, and then cut it. I can't show it to you now because I'm already in this, so we're going to also put a little bit of powder in this. Okay. I'm using some springform pans and some other ones. I ran out of some pans, but 2 are 8-inch and 2 are 9-inch. I'm doing little batch, so I'm doing 2 different size cakes. Okay? And if I haven't told you, I've told you this before, I keep my flour in a bowl like this so it's easier to pick out. I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour around the edges. I'm gonna just dust this real quick. And I'll show it to you. So basically have the pan sides all dusted with flour. I'll do another one with you. And just do it over the sink just in case. It just makes less of a mess. And then what's left over, I just put in the next pan. Okay. And this last one here. And remember, whatever excess flour you have after your last pan, you're gonna have to throw that out because you don't want to put that back in your flour, okay? Alrighty. So we're all done with that. Just moving some of the stuff out of the way here so I can pour these into the pans and then pop these in the oven once the oven's ready. But that's how I take the flour out. It's easier than trying to take it out of the bag. It's just not a good way of measuring. And my handy spatula, my favorite. Boy, I had a mess here to clean up. All right, let's take this off. And like I said, this is going to be loose. It's not a very thick batter. I did get coffee liquids all over the place, so I'll have a lot of cleaning to do. I'm just going to give this another stir. Make sure everything is really well incorporated. Not that it's not with the KitchenAid stand, but sometimes, you might have something on the side, so I want to just make sure that I got everything. And I have to tell you, it really smells good. But you can see it's very liquidy, okay? Don't be afraid of that. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right, so we're gonna put these into 4 pans. trying to move this out of my way a little bit more so I can put the 4 pans on here. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna eyeball this. Usually I would probably weigh this out into 4 portions, but I think I'm good. And if I feel that one has more than the other, then I'll just take some out of that one and pour it in the other one. But this is going to be really delicious. I mean, you got cannoli cream, you got cherries, you got amaretto, and cherry flavored in the buttercream. We're going to put some of that in there too. I really like thinking outside the box, and if I see something American that I like, and I say to myself, well, how can I make it Italian, make a new tradition, or put a twist on it, you know? So, I like to call it like Italian Black Forest cake. I don't have names for them, but I think that that's what I would really attribute it to as far as flavor goes. Okay, so I think I'm good here because this way I don't have to cut the cake, like really like, you know, sort into them. Maybe like one of them, cut it in half, we'll see. Yeah, I think that's good. I just put some on here on the counter. I think I want to put a little bit more into this one. This looks a little bit short, so I'm just going to take a little bit out of these and just put it in here. And these are 2 different sizes, 8-inch and 9-inch, just so you know. Okay, you could use, if you're doing one, you could use 8-inch. It'll be taller. Do 9-inch, it's going to be a little bit shorter, possibly because of, you know, it's wider. So you decide what you want to do, okay? But like I said, I'm making 2 of them. And don't forget, you're going to have the filling in it, so that's going to rise it up a little bit too. All right. Guys, we're going to stop here, and then we're going to make the cannoli cream. So let me clean up, gather everything up, and then we'll start on the cannoli cream. So, and then buttercream, Italian buttercream, you could see that on the YouTube video or on the Facebook page, how to prepare it and how to make it, okay? So like I said, make these things in steps so you're not overwhelmed. You can make the cake a day in advance. It'll cool off, you have it sliced, you have it ready, and then you prepare everything else. All right, guys, we're gonna make the simple syrup for the cake. So I have about a cup and a half of water and a cup of water and a half a cup of sugar. And to that, I am going to add a little bit of the maraschino cherry juice in it, about a 1/4 cup. Not even. And we're gonna add the Disarrono Amaretto in it. And remember, when you pour this stuff in, make sure you pour it away from the stove because you don't want to hit the flame and you go on fire. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 teaspoons, maybe a little bit more. And we're gonna let this cook and let all that sugar dissolve. Let it cool off, and we're gonna put this in between the layers of the cake, okay? So that's it for the simple syrup, okay? So you got amaretto, sugar, and a little bit of the cherry juice of the maraschino. And I'm gonna give a quick taste. Very, very good. It's exactly where I want it. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the amaretto. It's about so total of 8 teaspoons, okay? Let's see. Rinse that off. All right, guys, so you're gonna let this cook. Let everything dissolve, let it cool off, and then we'll use it for in between the cakes. All right, so cakes are coming out of the oven. By the way, don't use the spring pan. I don't know what I was thinking. It started to leak because it's not as thick as the cheesecakes and when you wrap them with aluminum foil. So I have to use the same pans. I have to pick up some more pans, 8-inch pans. So I'm gonna be doing, after those two come out and cool off, I'll put in the other two. All right, guys. When this is all said and done, we'll put everything together. Hi everyone, so we're back, continuing the video. So, as you guys know, I had a little bit of a flumber using the springform pan, so I lost some batter. So I wind up making 4 layers instead of making 2 cakes because I would have had 2 extra layers. So let's start with, by now you guys have made your cannoli cream, you would have made your simple syrup, like I showed you. So we're gonna start by putting some simple syrup on here. And it absorbs it pretty good, seeping right in. If you use one of these bottles, it's really best because you just get to put more and you can control it better. So this is that amaretto and cherry flavored liquor, which I didn't have cherry flavored, and I want to use amaretto and I want the cherry because I have to always be over the top, right? So I used the maraschino cherry juice and it came out really, really good. So we got the 1 layer down. I'm gonna put a layer of the Italian buttercream. I'm gonna do my border. And it's very hot. My buttercream in my hand makes it even softer. So I'm gonna do a 2 wall per layer on the cream. And I think I'm gonna start with the cherry in the bottom, the cannoli in the middle. So, here goes the cherry. Now this one I'm using, really should be cherries, but I'm using this one from Costco that I really, really like. It's strawberries, cherries, red currants, and raspberry. I said, let me try this. I don't know what it is. I took it home. It was a hit with the whole entire family. Everybody loved it. So, we're a big fan of it, and that's what we're using. And I hope you could see here, I'm just spreading the cherry preserves here in the middle, right against that wall. Okay, I think that's enough in it. And then I am going to grab a little plate to rest this in. Okay, so we're gonna get the next layer of cake. This is gonna be a very big cake. Just gonna press down on it. I'm not cutting off the top of the cake because of time, and I will make this stay nice and level, which it already is. So again, we're gonna douse it. If it leaks off the side of the plate, it's okay. You can poke little holes if you need to. Instead of going slow, I'm going a little quick here, so trying to save video time. Just want to make sure that all of the cake gets the flavor. Okay. So as I am working, I will get a little paper towel and just try to get any moisture that's on the bottom of the plate here, real quick. Okay, So now we're gonna make another border with a barrier or whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna do the cannoli cream. So, and if you haven't made the Italian buttercream yet, you should. It's real easy. It's not hard. It's pretty much foolproof. Like I said, it is warm out. This weather's been crazy. And I can tell that my buttercream is soft. Never like this. It's because of the heat of my hand, the weather, and I overfilled this bag, so just bear with me. And it's cold, the cannoli cream. I should have had it sitting out a little bit longer. So what I'll do to save time in the video, I'm going to, I thought by putting it in here and holding it with my hand, it would warm it up. Let me see, it seems to be okay now. So, in order to save time, what I'm going to do, since I have more cannoli cream here, I'm just going to spoon it on and then spread it with my offset spatula. Let me tell you something, not for nothing, but this cannoli cream recipe is so delicious. Probably gonna make some tarts too, some mini tarts, and use the cannoli cream for that, and some of the lemon curd, and make some tiny tarts. Petalini. Okay. Okay. And you can see in the cannoli cream, I don't know if you can or not, but bring it a little closer, the orange zest here. You get orange zest throughout. Okay? Real nice. Okay. So on goes the next layer. And I have to tell you, this parchment paper really works out well. And you want to press on it so it gets where you need it to be. Then you could fill in any space with buttercream, so don't get worried. And this is a moist cake to begin with, so I gotta wash my hands. It's not a dry cake. You could make maybe a chocolate sponge cake if you wanted to, but I like this one because it's moist, and plus with the simple syrup, just makes it even more delicious. So on goes the simple syrup. We're gonna give this a crumb coat. And then, one more buttercream. We're gonna give this a crumb coat, let it sit in the refrigerator for a good while for everything to get really solidified cold. And then we'll do the finishing touch. So I took some, of course, you know, we're Italian, all right? So I took basil leaves instead of the spearmint, or the mint, because it was closer to the house. And I took some room temperature melted chocolate and poured it over the leaves to use it as a design, okay? So that's what I'm gonna use on the sides of the cake with some cherries. You'll have to see it, but Okay, so now goes the cherry. And like I said, it is really, really warm and humid. And when it's like that, it's very hard to make cakes, guys, to decorate them and everything. So if you see that things are getting really droopy on you, pop the cake in the refrigerator, wait a little bit, and then start over again, okay? Let's put a little bit more here. It looks like I'm missing just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with the last layer. And I'm gonna put this last layer on flat. Okay? Since my cream is really soft, I think I'm gonna wait a while to put the crumb coat on this, okay? Because I think I'm gonna have issues. So I'm gonna pop the cake in the refrigerator, let it sit a good 15-20 minutes. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna put the icing in there as well, just to get a little bit firm in the KitchenAid bowl. And then I'll re-whip it because it is way too soft. I've never seen my buttercream this soft. So that's what I'll do to compensate for the cake cream. I don't want to have any issues. So that's what I'll do. Put this in the refrigerator. I'll come back. I'll put the crumb coat. Then I'll put the next layer on after a little bit, and you guys will see the finishing touches at the beginning and the end of the video. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys, your support. Things to come in the future. We'll open up doors for other things. But right now, this is where I stand. And I'm a humble baker. I'm self-taught. I don't think I'm better than anybody else or anything like that. But I do like to share what I know and try to keep the Italian traditions going. So this is why I make the video. So please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell on the YouTube page. If you click on the bell, you'll get notifications when new videos come up. And if you click follow and you share and you like on the Facebook page, then you'll get notifications as well. As always, thank you guys. Enjoy baking, post your pictures, leave comments. I appreciate everything. Have a good day. Hi everyone, I'm back. So I finished the cake, as you can see here. I think it came out rather nice. I used some melted chocolate and took some leaves from the garden, some basil leaves, some pepper leaves, and I put chocolate on the leaves, and then I put them in the refrigerator, froze them up, and then placed them on the cake. I think it came out rather pretty. I hope you guys enjoy it, enjoy the recipe, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Press like, share, andiamo alla cucina, and that's our next recipe. Have a great day.